Hey everyone, I'm back! I know it's been a while. I've been busy with college and working on personal projects and with general laziness. However, I finally came up with a new idea, and that idea is reviewing the dinosaur statues at the Creation Museum. In case you don't know, there's this museum in Kentucky called the Creation Museum, which is basically about how secular science and evolution is evil, and how dinosaurs lived with humans and how they're secretly dragons, and it's right next to the incest and genocide Ark encounter. Now, the dinosaurs here were sculpted by a man named Buddy Davis. He seems pretty talented at his craft, and unfortunately he puts it all into pseudoscience. Now, Buddy also believes that all paleontologists are wrong about how we're reconstructing dinosaurs. I'll play the clip right here.
Looking at the bones, there's a lot of things you can't possibly know when you're just looking at the bones, and here's what I mean. If I didn't know what this skeleton right here would be, and somebody showed me this skull of this animal, and I was told to make a copy of what it would look like, I'd probably get it all wrong, because here's what the bones belong to. A hippopotamus. Wow, who would ever guess that based on that skull? So that's the problem that you have when you build dinosaurs. So when you go to dinosaur movies or you see dinosaurs in books and stuff, you always want to remember that nobody that we know of has been able to see a live T-Rex to know for sure exactly what it would look like.
So knowing that, I'm very excited to see the extravagant ways he'll reconstruct his animals. All of the screenshots in this video were sourced from this video right here, which I'll link below. I'm only going to be going over the most noteworthy ones in my opinion, because going over each and every one would get boring and it would be far too long. This video is actually going to be pretty disorganized because it's going to mostly be my raw thoughts on the statues. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first dinosaur on our list is Saltasaurus, which is a statue right outside the entrance of the museum. Despite being a titanosaur, Saltasaurus is comparatively pretty small. It's only about 30 feet long. Still big, but not as big as some of its cousins. I'm looking at it right here, and it seems much more diplodocid than it does titanosaur. It has a big whip-like tail and this big downturned torso that leads into the neck, which is very popular in 90s reconstructions. You may have seen it in Walking with Dinosaurs. I have no qualms with the osteoderm arrangement, but I do have a problem with the size. I think they are far too small. It also has these conical spines along its back, which, go for it, I have no problems with that. This Saltasaurus statue actually provides a lot of the basis that the sauropods in the museum will follow. You know, elephantine feet, too many claws, being very skinny and weirdly shaped. This was constructed in the early 2000s or so I will give it a B+. It's not too egregious, but it's not the best thing either. So then we walk into the museum, and they have two Pteranodons. That's right, two. And they both look pretty different from each other. First there's this one, which is hanging from the ceiling and reminds me a lot of the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodon. Pteranodon is notable for having a disproportionately large head and a disproportionately small body, and none of that is represented in this statue. The head shape is fine, but it's way too tiny, and the body is way too fat and rotund. I also like how it looks like you could just snap the neck like. And in the early 2000s, we had a lot of Pteranodon material and we understood its anatomy pretty well, so I have no idea why they reconstructed it like this. I give it a C. It has every problem of the previous one except worse. It's all skin tight and stuff. Its wings also look really small. I don't know what's up with that. Both statues lack pycnofibers, which, given Answers in Genesis' opinion on that, is pretty understandable, but still, I give this statue a D+. And then we have these baby Tyrannosaur statues, which are totally not lifted from any other source material and are entirely original. D. I'm not even really looking for accuracy, I'm looking for good taste, I'm looking for originality. Accuracy does matter in this case because it's supposed to be educational, but still, you gotta have some artistic integrity here. Okay, I want you to guess what this dinosaur is supposed to be. I'll give you 5 seconds. Did you guess it? What did you say? I say iguanodon, or maybe a hadrosaur, or something like that? Wrong, it's an Ankylosaur. I think it's a pretty decent iguanodon reconstruction, but it's absolutely abysmal as an Ankylosaur. I have no idea what grade to give this. I think it's even stranger when you realize there's a really good indeterminate Ankylosaur statue right next to it. I think this is paleo art. This belongs in a real museum. This one easily gets an A+ from me. Moving on, we have this indeterminate Dromaeosaur, which I believe is a Utahraptor. In Genesis is like, we don't want you to think that dinosaurs are birds are dinosaurs, but they give this thing a fucking beak. Also a reminder that Answers in Genesis believes that all Maniraptoran dinosaurs, like Utahraptor, are just straight up birds now. Why haven't they updated their museum to reflect this? I don't know. They still give it fucking osteoderms. Also, for the love of God, no pun intended, it would fucking have feathers. It would have feathers. I give it a C. It's pretty decent skeletally, but integument-wise, yeah, no. We got this totally original statue right here. I like this sign right here that says, please do not pet the raptor. That implies it'll either fall apart instantly when you touch it, or it's secretly alive and it'll kill you. And I wanted to go over something pretty sad. This is Ebenezer the Allosaurus, and he is a real fossil that is held in the Creation Museum. Now, Allosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, and this is a remarkable specimen. It's amazing, look at it. Most of the mount is actually the skeleton. Specimens like this, in the words of Indiana Jones, belong in a museum. They shouldn't be trapped here used as a pedestal to spread pseudoscience. They should be used to spread actual science and knowledge. And there's absolutely no way that these people are actually studying the specimen. They aren't analyzing the bones looking for injuries or anything like that. They're just going, this thing totally lived with Adam and Eve. I hope that someday a real museum purchases this specimen so it can actually be studied. I'm not giving a score for this one because it's just sad. Anyway, let's get back to happy times, and by happy times, I mean looking at mid-dinosaur statues. Something looks really off about this Chasmosaurus. First of all, the skull looks more like a Torosaurus, which I have right here. I like how the epiparietals just stop halfway through, like this buddy was sculpting it and he was like, oh well. It has the elephantine lumpy legs and fat toes, which is common in like 90s reconstructions, but I feel like by the 2000s, we were already moving past that. So yeah, ceratopsids had muscular necks, but why is it so saggy at the bottom? Imagine the sculptor, buddy, is like looking for his unfinished statue. He's searching around, he's like, where did it go? And this Chasmosaurus with his suspiciously statue-shaped neck is like, It gets a C. It's pretty mediocre. Then we got this Hypsilophodontid right here. Its head looks pretty off, but the rest of the body looks fine. I'm gonna give it a B or an A. Its foot looks hooked right there. Maybe it's gonna latch onto something. Maybe they're speculating. Maybe they speculated, hey, what if the animal hooked onto things and that's how it ate with his foot? I don't know. Oh yeah, I like how its foot is no clipping into the back rooms right there. I don't remember where that is in the Bible, but go ahead. Allosaurus told Ceratosaurus, hey, don't buy that gas station weed. And Ceratosaurus was like, hey, I'm gonna be fine. And then he turned out like this. Why are his thighs so humanoid and why is his head so small? His like little crests and horns are all like tiny. They're supposed to be display structures. Why are they dully colored unless this is a female? It's got these small tiny little osteoderms, which we don't really know their size because they would have been sheathed in keratin, but I would draw them bigger. And its lips are like weirdly thin. It doesn't look like it can close its mouth. I give this a D. It looks ugly. It looks bad. Moving on, fat ass Archaeopteryx alert, fat ass Archaeopteryx alert. Why'd they make his head so tiny? Like why? Why is he all like derpy? So you probably know that it has a black feather that was preserved. That doesn't reflect the whole body. So unless there is no black feathers behind the wings, I would say this coloration is perfectly fine. Maybe just lose the weight. Work out at the gym and the library before he gets an A. Instead, he gets a C. For the last statue, I wanted to go out with a bang. It's the king of the dinosaurs. You know what it is. It's Tyrannosaurus Rex. And look what they did to him. Look what they did to my man. Look what they did to them. Why did they do that? They put him through the meat grinder. He's seen some shit. He's seen things that no human, no dinosaur should ever see. Look at him. Look at his spine. It's broken. It has been put sideways in a hydraulic press and now he can't see forward. Forced him to go through gene therapy and now he has like dog lips. They mutilated his wrists and now they're facing down and gave him these weird wrinkles on his ankles. It's blurry, but you can see they forced eye transplant and they gave him croc eyes instead of round eyes. So crocodiles only have their slit pupils because they hunt near the surface of the water and that would be irrelevant for a tall terrestrial predator. They also seem to gave him liposuction and they put all the fat at his ankles and now there's no division between the calf and the foot. They broke his neck. He should be paralyzed. I'm surprised he's still standing. But maybe, T-Rex has been found to have survived a lot of injuries in the fossil record, so maybe this isn't implausible. Maybe this is speculation. Dinosaurs in Genesis' T-Rex is easily the worst statue they have. I have no idea how Buddy messed this up so badly. Sue Moggs, easily. Moggs hard. So that's it. I wanted to do something that was a little more lighthearted and wasn't a debunk video, even though some of these were pretty bad. Not all the statues at the museum are bad. This Dilophosaurus is actually pretty good for its time. And so is this Protoceratops. And these Velociraptors make for pretty decent 2000s reconstructions. AIG, Buddy, if you're watching this, please just make your dinosaur statues look nice. Some of yours are actually pretty nice, and please be original, don't steal from Jurassic Park. Don't break the spine of a T-Rex. And if you believe that paleontologists are actually wrong about things and they don't know anything, why don't you speculate more? Give them quills, give them big floppy dog ears, I don't know. Because you believe that there's no difference between a hippo and a T-Rex skull. So go wild. If you found this video funny or entertaining, make sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment to boost the algorithm, and follow me on Instagram at Goobersaur353. I post a lot more there, and I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye bye.